The fifth dimension. Yeah, so we're gonna get a little bit more into the fifth dimension. And take it or leave it. I'm not your savior. I'm not this is not like a religion. This is not spiritual advice. Take it or leave it, because in this video I'm gonna get more into depth about the fifth dimension from my own experience and from my own truth. So I'm not gonna do too much further explaining. Like I said, take it or leave it. If you believe it or not, cool. If you think I'm just trying to dupe people, cool, fine. But I am saying this to try to shed light on one of the most significant experiences that I've ever had, and that I know that every human has the ability to have. It's just that we aren't led to know that. So just like a butterfly, I'll make this analogy multiple times because it's a pretty good analogy, and the universe does a really good job of making that clear with how it works. But just like how a butterfly comes from a caterpillar, right? We're stuck in a world. We're in a world right now where caterpillars have lost the understanding how to become a butterfly, and that's probably one of the simplest ways I can put it. Us as humans, we have lost the knowledge of how to become a butterfly, and I promise you, with all of my heart, that is what's going on. That is what's going on here with a lot of humans. And so it can be really hard to try to communicate with people when all they know is how to be a caterpillar, because it's like, of Legends history, we had one caterpillar named Jesus Caterpillar. And he was the one caterpillar that turned into a butterfly after he had rested. And nobody else has done it since then. And, that's kind of the state of the world we're in, And, I'm not here to take anything away from religion. I'll make a whole video about that, how I feel about things, so y'all may know, because it may help y'all to understand where I'm coming from, my perspective, because it may help you to understand where I'm coming from, and it may put you off, but at the same time, it is what it is. And I think I'd rather give y'all an understanding about where I'm coming from with a lot of these things, because I did grow up in a very traditional household. But there's certain truths that when you experience them, a lot of things just make sense, and a lot of other things just don't. But I'll get more into it later. But anyways, we live in a world where that's the case, right? Humans are no longer, they don't know how to become butterflies anymore. We have lost our gift of ascension. Like, it's really a part of what we are supposed to do. It's really a part of our biology. It's a part of your biology. It's a part of all of our biology. Like, we can do it. I've done it. Like, I've done it. I'm telling you. So, the fifth dimension is when you cross over into that space, right? Christ consciousness of what they talk about, right? Crossing over past the fourth dimension, past death, or whatever you want to call it, the veil, into the fifth. And when people die, I truly, truly feel that whenever you step away from this planet, it'll be like, oh shit, like, why was I even, like, I'm so glad I'm out of that rat race. Like, I'm so glad I'm off of that frequency, because there's not really much to look forward to here, in a lot of ways. It's like, you're just going to be kind of exploited and used to make somebody else more profit and so forth, right? But there's not really an end game for all of us to find a utopia, right? On this planet, all together as humans, or just in individual countries. But when you step back from it all, it just feels like noise, right? All the things that Kim Kardashian this, or freaking P. Diddy that, or freaking celebrity drama and this and that, or hey, buy this new bag, or oh, there's a trend that's going on with a new dance or something. Like, okay, like, I don't know if everybody feels this way. I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of it's just like, there's not really much, it's not really much going on. It's not really too much to even be proud of as a human, to be like, yeah, this is what we do here. So there's an aspect of ourselves that doesn't belong here. There's an aspect of ourselves that exists beyond any time and space here on Earth, right? And that aspect of yourself is that fifth dimensional aspect of yourself, right? It's a side of you that you can only reach outside of here, right? And we'll all reach it when we die, but some people have had the ability to reach it before. Some people have had the ability to kind of poke their head out of the water like a fish, right? Like seeing that you're in an ocean and being able to see the ocean for what it is. And then when you come back to it, you're like, oh, hey y'all, I want to tell y'all that we're in the ocean and this and this and this, and that there's a lot more to this, and there's actually like land and stuff. And people are like, what? What are you talking about? Ocean, land? What do you mean? Where I'm living in life. Like, what else do you want me to do? But I'll try to keep this thing going. I don't want to talk in circles, and I don't want to be vague either. I want to give y'all descriptions and stuff because I feel like a lot of that is missing on YouTube and in places and just books. It's a lot of just generic information that's kind of just talks about the same shit. Like you'll buy a book and they'll just repeat the same thing they said in the first chapter for like 8 chapters. So, like I said before, take it or leave it. I don't care if it's controversial, whatever, but we all have a kundalini that's at the base of our spine. They say it's wrapped around your spine 3.5 times, like a coil. And it's an energetic thing, right? And if and kind of like Dragon Ball Z, where they have their tails wrapped around their waist, and then they have the ability to turn into like a great ape or whatever, right? Us as humans, we have it. It's already literally built into your body, just like you have ribs and you have ears and you have everything else. There's an energetic kundalini that's in all of us. And a lot of people don't understand the feminine energy and don't understand the things that you can't see. It's totally fine. So those are the people that won't. Those are the caterpillars that are like, what do you mean I can turn into a butterfly? Like I'm just gonna eat these leaves until I die. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what we're dealing with here, right? So and I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm like, yo, if you just put yourself in a cocoon and you just like you'll come out as a butterfly. You know what I mean? I'm trying, universe. I'm trying to let them know. But you have a kundalini in all of us, right? Or we all have a kundalini within us. And the way that to activate your kundalini, to get it moving, is to understand your chakras and to clear out your chakras and to balance your chakras. And you have to balance each and every one of them. There's 7 of them. You have to balance each of them. You have to figure out for yourself what truly is your chakra. What is it doing? What does it do? How does it govern your life? What's going on, and how to release the energy or whatever that you may have. Some chakras may be easier than others. Some might take a week to understand, and some might take months. Some might take days. But it's important to understand that. They're not going to tell you this in school. They're not going to tell you this in college. They're not going to tell you this anywhere besides some, traditional mystics or whatever you want to call them. And I just say that to say that even when I had my kundalini experience, I didn't even know what a kundalini was. I didn't even know about all this stuff. I think I knew about the chakras. I didn't know about the kundalini, but I didn't know all about the chakras. But when I was going through and clearing out my chakras, it happened to me. Like this, I was in the tub, whatever. There's a whole video about it. But when it happened to me, I promise, like, it is the most profound experience I could ever have. And it's something that I experienced consciously, like alive, like awake. It wasn't a dream. I wasn't like, having a vision. It was literally something that happened physically inside of me, inside of my body, an energetic, a powerful heat. Like it felt like an amber heat that shot up out of my spine, from the base of my spine to the top of my neck. And I'm like, whoa, And a lot of times when energy moves around inside of you, it happens it can be very powerful energy, right? Like if something makes you, like gives you chills, it's like a surge, right? The urges and stuff within the body are really powerful. Like the things that drive you to do things or, have certain, things go on. They're very powerful within yourself. And there are energies that we haven't tapped into. And when you experience that, when you have that Kundalini awakening, what you will see, what I was able to see, was that my soul, like I mentioned before in the other video, this is just a recap, it's a snowball effect. What you live in life is a huge snowball effect. Your soul, you come into this world, your soul, like say it's like a pea, and then with each experience that you're having, there's a snowball effect that's happening until you don't even recognize who you are, but you recognize the appearance of who you are, right? You recognize you don't really truly know yourself. You just know who you think you are. And until you truly know yourself, that won't make much sense because you'll think you know yourself, but you don't. You just know your experiences in your life. So when I had that moment happen, all of those layers of that snowball went away, and I got connected to that center, that small center. But the crazy thing is that small center is so freaking powerful. I don't know if you've seen JJK, but when he has this like little red, blue, small little dot, but it's like the most powerful move in the whole thing. That's how your soul is. Your soul is like so, it's literally your saving grace. It's literally the thing that makes this life. That's why I started smiling instantly. It's the thing that makes this life so much worth it. So much worth it. Because before I was like, man, what is going on? Like, what is this? Why are we even doing this? Like, why do we need to be here? Like, this shouldn't make no sense. Like, why do we have all this intelligence and functionality in our bodies and stuff just to do this basic lame ass shit? And that's exactly how I felt, you know? But after the Kundalini experience happened, then I was like, oh, this shit is live. This shit is cool as fuck. Oh, snap. It's just that us as humans, we fucked it up and we made this shit boring. All the things that I was feeling about it before, that's just shit that the humans did to it. But what's really going on is something that's very magical. It's very beautiful. Like, it's more magical than what people believe. And that's why I even say, like, oh, you got a Kundalini and stuff. People be like, what? You can turn into a butterfly? What? But, you know, let the caterpillar's caterpillar, bro. If you really want to become a butterfly, you can. You like, and it's an analogy, but it's true. Like, whenever you have your Kundalini experience, you will understand, because all of the questions that you may have weighed on your heart about, man, what's going on? Like, this shit don't make sense. You'll have them answered quickly, shortly, within an instant, because the thing that will go on within you, and I'm doing my best to explain this. It is like a metaphysical renewal. It is like a metaphysical like update. It's like not even an update. It's like removing a virus from your computer. Oh my God. It is like removing a virus from your computer that's been on your computer as long as you had it, but you didn't even realize it was there. And then after you remove it, your computer runs like 100 times faster. I'm not saying I'm 100 times smarter, but what I'm saying is that there's such a vast amount of information that we don't have access to, just because we are in this society already where it's locked away from us. It's taught us to stay a caterpillar, and that's all there is to it. But these are all analogies, because if I were to try to say that, like, you know, in the Matrix, whenever he goes to Zion and whenever they plug in the jack into the back of his neck and he gets just a huge surge of information and he instantly learns how to do Kung Fu and all this stuff, that's what it's like. And it's like trying to explain that experience to somebody who's never had that experience. It'd be kind of weird if I was like back in the Matrix, you know, as Neo, talking to other humans, and I was like, hey, yeah, I'm with this machine, and I plugged into it, and then I had all these information I could learn how to, and like, what? Okay, whatever you say, so pal. You know what I mean? But it's like that. It's like jacking out of the 3D construct and seeing it from the outside and looking at it and being like, oh, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing as a soul. That's what I'm doing here as a human. I'm like the herald of my higher self, just like Silver Surfer is the herald of Galactus and kind of goes to find like planets and stuff for Galactus. That's kind of what we're doing. I mean, obviously we're not consuming planets like Galactus, but we're out there. We send our souls, we send our smaller selves, who's us, a higher self sends us out here to gain experience and bring it back up. Because yes, this physical vessel may go, you know, it'll die, but there's a soul that's internal. There's the feminine that's internal, and that will always be internal. And once you are on the fifth, you know this. You know that it's internal. It's not even like like mysticism or some shit. That's just the truth. It's just a fact, and it still reigns true here on the third. But on the third, we're in the perspective of the external, of the material, looking back up at everything. So it's easy for us to see the disconnect rather than us understanding from top down how this whole thing works. And that's just the way it's designed. It's supposed to be like that, but it's supposed to be that like that, but also due to word of mouth and the stories and the knowledge that's passed down from generation to generation. We are supposed to make sure that each generation knows these things, knows what it's truly capable of, knows what the human body truly has within itself, because all you're going to think about the human body is just going to be what somebody told you. Somebody said in a book, in this anatomy book, this is what you have, these are your bones and your muscles, and this is all there is to a human body. Yeah, that's all there is to the physical side of it. There's a whole spiritual, energetic aspect of your body that is can't even be touched by scientists, because they're too masculine, they're too left brain, and they're going to refute anything that has anything that's somewhat not measurable within it. And that's a very, very limiting perspective of how the universe works. So what else can I say about this experience in the fifth dimension? It's your super self, right? Supernatural, super intelligent. What else can I say about it? There's a lot. I mean, there's so much information that it's like if I were to maybe draw it out, I probably need to do more diagrams for my YouTube so y'all can kind of understand a little bit more. And maybe I can do quick little short snippets and stuff, but it's pretty much like unplugging from the matrix, essentially, and seeing the matrix for what it is. And until you do, you'll be kind of more easily persuaded, or kind of fed back the blue pill in a sense. But it's not as crazy and as dire as the matrix. Like the matrix is very much like it's exaggerated a bit, but that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. It's not to say that, these are all like Mr. Smiths and whatnot, but there's an aspect of who we are, of our true nature, that we have disconnected from, even though it's right there the whole time. Just like how he jacked out, he was right there, still him. It's right here the whole time. But we're just led to believe that we're going to be caterpillars, and that's all there is to it. And I know for those that may not understand it, like caterpillar, what's up with this dude in caterpillars? And yeah, if you're at that point, you're missing the whole thing. But for those that get it, I'm just trying to point you in the right direction, because I can't make you unlock your chakras. I can't make you do all that. But once you do, you'll understand why the universe requires you to do that in order to do things, and why once you do it, even for anybody who's watching this video that ends up doing it and thinks about these things, or thinks about the words that I've said, you'll get to a point after you come out of after you have that experience, you'll come to a point where the knowledge, when it comes to you, it'll be like you'll look back at these videos and you'll think, oh yeah, duh, I was telling myself this the whole time. Like that's why I was watching these videos. Like I knew this. Like I knew I was gonna find my way back home. And that's like homeward bound. I promise you, I get the chills literally just saying that. Because that's what it is. That's what it is, and it makes me want to tear up a little bit, because I'm so thankful. Like when in certain religions they talk about like how you could be saved, but that is how you're saved. That right there is how you're saved. I haven't felt any sort of salvation as profound as that ever, and it was something that was not from a dream. It wasn't something from a thought idea. It was something that I physically felt, internally and externally at the same time, while being conscious. And it's such a saving grace, because you're just like, man, thank God there's an actual, thank God the universe is like benevolent. Thank God that this whole thing is actually meant to be beautiful. And the only people that get the shit wrong are the people that get the shit wrong. Like the shit's actually already amazing. But we're just limited in the way that we think, in the way that we view these things, in the way that we see this whole thing. But but it is all miraculous. The magic never went anywhere. It's just that we've lost our connection to it. And it's not even about believing. It's not like, oh, I believe there's magic, so it'll work. You know, if you're gonna believe in anything, believe in the universal harmony that all this is designed to come back to a higher good. But you know, it's, you know, there's a knowing. Once you reach a certain knowing, you don't have to really believe, because you know. So nobody can tell me 2 + 2 = 35 when I already have seen the answer. You know what I mean? So, and thank God, because, you know, we live in a world where that's what we've been told for generations. I'm like, okay, yeah, everything is 35. I know that's another analogy, but that's the thing about fifth dimension and third dimensional energies. It's really hard to try to translate. As articulate that I feel like I may be, the best way for me to translate these things sometimes is literally by drawing. So, but it exists, and it's there, and it's waiting for you. And whenever you cross that threshold, everything up until this point will seem like it has all been there to lead you to that point, because I guarantee you that it is the most significant thing you'll ever experience. Ever. You just getting in touch with your higher self. 16 Chapel type shit. You know? The fifth dimension. Fifth dimension, y'all. It's like, it's there. You know? And the fourth dimension is between you and that space. The fourth dimension is here. The fourth dimension is music, is the ideas, are the things that don't have shape and form, that are internally within you and outside of you. The fifth dimension, that's when we get into that light. That's when we get to these celestial beings. That's when we get to your higher self that can stand at the table or be at the table with some of these celestial beings, because your higher self has lived multiple lifetimes, has lived and died and all these things. And it's so great. It's so much greater than you can ever be in this moment in time. But like I said, take it or leave it. I know this is a long video, but and I may have kind of went over the same points a few times, but I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to just let this whole rock. I hope that y'all really did get something from it, because I'm trying my best verbally to describe the fifth dimension, or to describe my interaction at least with it, and how profound it can be, and how much just seeing the truth for what it is will make all of the aspects of reality just fit. Like it's like seeing the answer to the puzzle. You know, you're like, oh, and you may not be able to look at everything all at once and be like, oh, okay, I know what this is, I know what that is, like, oh, like freaking limitless or whatever. But it's more like you're giving just enough of a glimpse to see. From there, you can kind of expand out and be like, oh, okay, I see how this works. It's like a formula, right? You kind of give them like a formula of the universe. And in a sense, like visually, you'll see, because you'll interact with your higher self. You'll interact with your fifth dimensional self. And from that interaction, you'll be like, oh, snap. Okay, I see what's going on. I see what happened, why they talk about certain things in religion. I see why we have children. I see why there's certain functions, like the law of exchange, you know, equivalent exchange type shit, right? Full Metal Alchemist, right? When he goes to see truth, he no longer needs transmutation circles. He just claps and he can do the shit now. You know what I mean? I got nothing else to tell y'all, man. If you believe it or not, all good. I'm not here to convince you, but I'm just here to help fellow souls know the truth for themselves before having to die to find out. I really, you know, am here to try to help y'all see for yourselves. Don't just take my word for it. See for yourselves. It takes more than just watching this video. To get to the fifth dimension, yeah, it takes more than just watching videos. But these are definitely giving you the framework and the guidelines to kind of help you understand. And if there's anything else that y'all want to know that I feel like y'all may feel I might have been too vague or I didn't cover in this video, please drop it in the comments. Please let me know what questions you may have about this, and I will do my best to answer them. And yeah, all right, let's keep going. Take care, y'all. Love y'all, and peace.